Hi, Jess.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hot, hot, hot.
Good. There's a little lag. People are like, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's my phone.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
it's just the connection. I don't know. But hi, I'm here.
that's good. I'm here. Susan's here.
Yeah, but can you hear Susan?
I can hear,
Yes.
Janice can hear Susan, but I can't see Susan.
Right.
Okay, well, I have to just start the video. This,
There you are.
Zoom has made some changes and they are not easy to deal with. Sorry, just doing a little bitching here.
We can see you.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm backlit. Okay. All righty. Greetings, everybody. I don't know where Jeanette is. All right, it's 5:34. Shall we get started?
Hang on till I get a pad of paper. I just got in the house 5 minutes ago. I had two cats who wanted to eat. One cat ate the second cat's food.
Ruh-roh.
Okay, I have a pad of paper. I'm with us.
Okay. All right. So, shall we, we'll roll call the meeting to order at 5:34. Favre, present.
Make peace present.
Is Gray present? I missed that.
Gray is present, yes.
Okay, Millinger present.
Okay. Right, so 4 constitutes a quorum, correct?
I believe so, yep.
All right. Okay, so meeting minutes from the June meeting. What do you say, Susan? I didn't see any corrections that needed to be done. I don't know if others noted, Tim.
I didn't see any.
Well, Janice told me that there was something, she watched the video because she wasn't here, and she told me there was something I left
Oh,
off.
I was here, but
Oh, you were?
I watched the video, but I was at the last meeting.
Oh, apologies.
I watched the video because I wasn't sure I remembered something right. And that's what I wrote to you about, that you
Right.
had brought something up at the end and I thought you deserved credit for it. So if
Oh.
you're gonna say what I said, you go ahead, or I'll try to remember what I observed.
You told me that when we were talking with Sarah Fisk about things we could do for and with her, we suggested having a meet and greet attached to something like lunch.
Or an event a library event at the Shutesbury Athletic Club or some other town gathering that we could just sort of sneak in there. That was Susan's idea.
All right. Did that make it into the minutes, Susan?
Can I add that to the minutes so that we would vote on amended minutes?
Yes, I would.
So I'm just going to add in the early part. So at the end of the paragraph, talking about the fact that she doesn't have a lot of drop-by, she has to go out and reach out to people. I was just going to add a suggestion that COA hold a meet and greet for Sarah in addition to some town event or something like a lunch. In addition to a town event, maybe. That sound okay?
Sounds great.
Whoops, wait a second. Jeanette's up there and I haven't admitted her.
Okay. She's muted.
Okay.
Ah, there she is.
All right, hello, Jeanette. You're muted, just so you know.
Well, don't we kind of stay muted except when we don't need to be?
Yep.
In case there's any big dogs barking in my room.
Okay, that sounds good. Just wanted you to know.
Yep,
Right.
thanks.
There was just an amendment to the minutes that we would include Sarah Fisk, the town RN, in a program either, sponsored by Council on Aging or a luncheon or something in an effort to make her more visible to town members.
Mhm.
Susan's adding those now.
I've got it.
So,
So I'm ready to go on that if you want to do something with the minutes.
all right, shall we make a motion to approve the amended minutes as discussed?
Is that a question or is
Make-
that,
That's a statement. I make a motion, Favre makes a motion to approve the minutes for June 2024 as amended.
Ray seconds?
Let's vote. So Favre, aye.
Gray, aye.
I think it's Jessica,
Jessica.
or is it?
Jessica, we're voting on minutes.
Sorry, I was trying to get my phone plugged in.
Do you vote yay or nay for approving the
Yay.
minutes?
Millinger, aye.
Stockton, I?
So minutes are approved as amended for June. All right, financial report. The financial report. Okay, so the financial report as of July 10th, today, we have a new balance of minus $188.20. Foot Clinic for the month of June cost $299, and we previously had a balance of $110.80. I'm sorry, I probably should have given that in reverse order. So my bad, because I hadn't looked at the thoroughly looked at the treasurer's report, and I went to see Gail Weiss, and she told me, well, we had $110.80 left in the budget. So we should be getting our money from the Mass Council on Aging, and that will come in November. So I have promised her that we will not spend any money until except for Foot Clinic, until we receive those funds.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was having trouble finding my financial report that you sent out.
All
Was
right,
that
so
my 110.80?
110.80 was our balance for but prior to the balance of 110.80 was
Before the foot care clinic.
correct. The
Okay, sorry.
Foot Care Clinic was $299, and which leaves us a new balance for the start of the year is a negative $188.20. So what was happening in the past was we had anticipated and the anticipated balance line, we were never for a few months since I picked up on this, we were subtracting it. But anyhow, we're at a new slate, and this will be done very thoroughly by Jessica, and I will assist her. So that is the financial report as of July 10th, 2024.
So Millinger here. So are we supposed to wait until we actually get the money from the state?
Gail said that we can run a balance for foot care, just foot care. Because we need to continue having that, and we will get the money.
Yeah, but the state can be extremely slow at approving our money. in the past, we have assumed we were gonna get it. And we have accordingly spent. Is that not right, Janice?
You're
My
muted.
recollection is we've been told that we can assume we're gonna get it and we can spend in anticipation of that without any consequence, but it sounds like things are different now.
Well, I don't know as though they're different. We received the funds in November and in March. The money from the Mass Council on Aging.
So we can't spend any money except foot clinic until November?
No, we can, but we will run a deficit, but we will not pay Village Neighbors or any library programs. We can only run a deficit for foot care clinic expenses.
Okay.
That's what I'm being told.
Do we have a new treasurer?
Do we what?
Do we have a new treasurer?
Yes, Jessica.
Oh.
Makepeace.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh.
sorry. I don't mean to be insulting you, Jessica. I mean the town.
Well, the town treasurer is Gail Weiss.
Yeah, well, she's not new. So interesting. Okay.
So. So I will follow up and I will contact Mass Council on Aging and see when we will expect to see that money. I mean,
Well, it depends on the state government approving the budget, which that's one key part, and they're slow about that.
right. So I don't know what the town, I don't know what does the town do? I mean, they're still waiting for funds too, right?
They use what they think is coming. I would suspect, but they do have taxes to rely on too.
Right.
I don't know. Good question.
Okay. Well. All right, any other questions in regards to the finance report? Okay. All right, next item is foot care clinic. So the foot care clinic, we had a full roster. It started June. We had a full roster in, patients being seen in town, and we also had one home visit. And the woman that so we're ready for July. We have a full complement of clients with 2 on the waiting list.
Wow.
I called in regards to the issue with people from out of town using the services of the foot clinic. I had a long conversation with Linda Alvis Scott. And she said that there was never a formal, it was discussed, but there was never a formal policy created on the books for the use of the foot clinic just for people within the town of Shutesbury. So I sent you all, a couple of days ago, I sent you all a foot care clinic usage policy, which we can go over. Susan Gomberg had a call from a woman in Pelham who wanted to receive services in Shutesbury. And Susan Gomberg learned that they offer services in Amherst, foot care services in Amherst. So do we want to look at that foot care clinic policy that I sent out? Do y'all have? I sent it out Sunday.
So Question
Yes,
before we do, about the foot care clinic in Amherst, is it run by foot care by nurses?
I don't know.
Okay, all you know is that there's a foot care clinic in Amherst and this woman from Pelham could go there?
Yes.
Okay,
It's like, yeah, I'm looking at her note. Hmm. So,
Amherst, Martha, I have the policy open. If you want me to just read it quickly, it's pretty short.
okay, the Amherst Senior Center, this is a note from Susan Gomberg, offers foot care including in-home. The information is on their website, so. So I think what we need to do is determine what we're going to do for the town and for our, so that's what this policy is about. Jeanette, do you want to read the policy?
Sure. Foot care clinic usage policy. The monthly foot care clinic offered by the COA in Shutesbury, Massachusetts is limited to residents of the town. Rationale. The Council on Aging's budget is provided by the Mass Council on Aging. The funding is based upon the number of registered seniors living in the town. The residents who receive services at the foot clinic are asked to contribute a donation, the balance of the fees owed to foot care by nurses. The organization providing the care is paid from the COA's budget. The Shutesbury COA's goal is to be fiscally responsible to its residents and spend our limited budget serving their needs. Looks like Susan has a hand up.
Susan, sorry.
okay, this sounds fine to me, except I have a question. Do we
Yes.
actually ask people to contribute a donation?
There is a, well, it's passively asked. There is an envelope that sits on the table that says donations. So,
That is not really asking.
okay. all
You
right.
know, I mean, a person shouldn't feel pressured to donate, right?
Right, so. And they're not at the foot clinic, so we can change the verbiage here. That, I had taken, some of this I had taken from the website, from the COA website, so. We can, once we figure out how we want to phrase this, Janice hopefully will go back and just change the verbiage on the website.
Yeah, I'm looking at the last Gazette to see where it talks about the foot clinic.
This was taken directly from the COA website, Janice.
Yeah, which I got directly from this Council on Aging. I didn't make it up.
Okay, no.
So could you say donations
But it says the
accepted and
COA
appreciated?
What it says is the COA, this is from the Gazette. The COA suggests clients donate towards the visit's cost.
Okay,
State grants funds will cover the balance. Now you make it a little clearer that those state grant funds are paid to us and then we cover the balance through them. So I think simply an envelope that says donations is, this is my personal thought, is a little unclear. It might be donations appreciated or something. But that's is a passive, whatever Susan said, a passive kind of ask.
A Stockton here question. If people have health insurance, they would be doing a copay, and many people's foot care would potentially be paid by a professional. This is making a service much more simple for people. So I think it's okay to make it like a donation. I've seen on I feel like other COAs literally say a $30 donation or whatever is, hoped for. We're not doing that.
Or is appreciated, maybe? I mean, You know, there are rules about us accepting money, taking
Mhm.
money. And I think that's one of the things that was in Linda's mind when she emphasized that we weren't specifically directly asking for money. I think Jessica had a suggestion.
Jessica,
I was suggesting saying that donations are accepted and appreciated, so that they know that that we are able to accept them as donations, not like they're asked for, and then appreciated, you know, would be more of the way of saying, you know, it's really helpful to us to have that donation.
Sounds good to me.
But I'm just curious, Stockton here. What do you think of the point I made? Is it at all relevant that we're paying for something that people would be having paid for? Am I wrong? I don't know.
I think the concern is for those people, people are getting foot care. It's hopefully provided to as many people as choose to utilize the services, and they can pay what they can.
Mhm.
You know, I think some people in town probably can't afford a copay. So I don't, I think what we're trying to do is not eliminate them. But yeah, I mean, Leverett stipulates this is how much you pay.
Mhm.
That's Leverett.
So, so funding is, so residents who receive services at the foot care clinic are, let's see. But just donations are accepted and appreciated. Just leave it at that.
Yes, I would leave that.
Take out the sentence, the residents who receive services are asked.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Donations are accepted and appreciated to cover the cost.
I would just say period.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, great.
Jessica, is that your thought?
Mhm.
The balance of fees owed to care
That
by
is my thought.
providing the care. Okay. Any other comments?
No, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
It's
You're
good to
welcome.
have.
Shall we vote on accepting this?
Will it be proofread before it's published?
Oh
Will it
dear.
be,
Because like, for example, the Shutesbury COA's goal is to be fiscally responsibly.
oh, yeah, it says, you're right.
You know, there are a couple of little tweaks.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yes, we, to its resident, I need a apostrophe,
motion?
its residents, and spend our limited budget serving their needs. All right. Yes, I can proof this and send it out. And do we vote on it next month? That's a question.
Or can we just vote on it and with it that it's going to be proofread? And just those little glitches rather than hold it up another month.
Yeah, I would agree to Jeanette's suggestion.
Ray agrees also.
Okay, so a motion then that we accept the new policy for the COA foot clinic with knowledge that it will be corrected.
Yeah, and that the suggestion that Jessica made will be incorporated. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The sentence, the residents who receive services at the foot care are asked to donate, that has been eliminated and it's been replaced by donations are accepted and appreciated. All right. Do we have a motion? You made the motion, Jeanette?
I think I made the motion.
Yes. You seconded?
Ray
Second.
Okay. Roll call, Barbara,
Aye.
Aye.
Gray, aye.
Make peace, I.
Milling, I.
Stockton, aye.
All right. Okay. Policy. Okay. All right. So, the next item on the, agenda is the budget for 2025. So, do we create that now? Do we wait till we know what we have for funds from? Do we go with a budget for the year?
I don't know. Do we want to discuss what we would like to include in the budget so we have some sense of where we're going? I don't know.
I can tell you what we've spent in the past. What we had. In past budgets, we had budgeted for the first half of the grant, $1,122 for foot care and $1,500 for the fitness classes. We had 800 for the Gazette. And in past years, we had donated 1,000 to Village Neighbors. And the programs for the library.
In addition to the fitness classes?
There's the fitness classes, and then we also, at the end of the calendar year, we bought the passes for Mocha and the butterfly.
Yeah, we sort of do that because we have money that looks like it's going to be left over.
Right. Don't do that, my bad.
Well, you weren't that far off.
I have a question. The fitness classes, are those every year? That the COA does that for the library? Or was that just for last year?
I think they've been doing it a few years, Stockton. I think they've been doing
Okay.
that for a few years.
All right.
Yeah, Jessica, because a lot of the people that participate are seniors.
Right. I
Mhm.
just didn't know if it was like an ongoing, like annual thing.
Yeah,
So-
we've been quite a while.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Gray here also, I think we always contributed something to the library classes, but when COVID hit, there was so little we could do. We really ramped up. Because we couldn't do workshops and things on our own and have meetings, and presentations on our own as easily. But now it's become habits, so. Anyway.
And it's working well, and people are using it without very much effort from this group, which already has plenty to do.
We have thoughts as to. Shall we make a list of what we want to potentially spend money on this year?
Sounds good.
So we Stockton here. So we feel that many of the things that we're already spending money on are of benefit and utilized. Would we have a wish list for anything else? I mean, we've just started up the potlucks, but or the lunches, but they're potlucks, so they're not costly. Like some of the other COAs actually provide a subsidized lunch, I believe. I know New Salem, they ask for a very nominal fee, but the Leverett COA, I've been to a few lunches where they're paying for it.
I don't know, I think, well, keeping it potluck, it certainly reduces our costs.
Yeah, and to make sure everybody has brought something that they know they want to eat.
Very true.
You know,
Right.
like I just need to get some vegetarian protein, so I try to bring it.
Right.
Martha, was there enough food for everybody? Like people brought enough? I wasn't able to
Yes, yes.
attend. Okay.
There was, Jessica, you were at yesterday's. Jessica reports there was.
Yeah, there wasn't very many people there at all
yeah.
yesterday, but there was enough food for everybody for sure. For the ones that were there.
Yeah, what I was trying to say, and couldn't unmute, is that I couldn't come because there wasn't much notice and I had a medical appointment in the morning, but I did drop food off. And then I came home because my daughter had been asleep visiting when I left for the medical appointment, and she was going to leave shortly thereafter. So I wanted to see her.
Hmm.
But I was wondering if anybody came. I walked in and you were there, Jessica.
Yeah, I think Martha, you had the head count, didn't you?
Susie Mosier sent me a list. There were 10 people there.
That's not bad.
That's not
Yeah.
bad for summer.
Right, and this brutal heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and a lot of them were not, I mean, it wasn't staff.
Good.
Yes.
So new people?
Some of the people, let me,
I saw a new face that came with Leslie. It's not Leslie Bracebridge anymore, but that's how I know her as.
Oh, it's not Leslie Bracebridge any longer?
I don't think so. Maybe
Oh.
it is.
I don't know. Okay.
so 11 people, according to Susie, Jessica and Travis, Melanie McNeil, Leslie Bracebridge, Jane Urban, Elizabeth Murphy and her little girl, Dave Mosier, Deb O'Brien, Ellen McKay, and Susie Mosier.
It's a nice group.
I
It
think
is.
so.
Couple of younger people. That's great. Kids.
Yeah, I brought my kid had to join me, but he helped set up too.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. And Sally and Beth were there helping to set up, but they left because Beth had COVID. I was surprised to even see her there at all. And Sally was afraid that she was had contracted it, so they didn't
Yeah.
stay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't make it. I just have too much going on.
Hmm.
So, that was really a good turnout. And if you should be pleased.
So we'll
Right
talk about,
here. Ray would like to suggest that we return to our old community lunch date of the first Tuesday of the month, not the second.
all right, so we'll talk about let's talk about the potluck. That's on the agenda, Janice,
Okay,
in terms of date change, all right? Because Sarah's not available either. Well, we'll talk about the date change in a minute. So in terms of the budget, shall we finish up with the budget?
Yep.
So we have, well, let's make a list. There's foot care, there's a Gizette.
Village neighbors. And gym. I mean, classes,
Okay,
Exercise classes.
exercise classes. Sorry, I used the wrong word.
That's okay. We knew what you meant.
I didn't. Said, who's Jim?
Gym's classes, yes.
all right, foot care, Gizette, fitness classes, village neighbors donation. I think in the past, we've given a donation to Mass MCOA.
That's dues to Mass Mocha. I'm not Mass Mocha. The Mass COA.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. dated March review. We haven't since February. I don't see, I don't,
We ordinarily pay them.
we ordinarily do, right?
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Yep, that's $265. Yep, that was paid in September.
Do
When,
we have to? Oh,
sorry.
go ahead. Do we have to, put in anything for the supplies for the potluck dinner? For the plates, because I mean, I know there's enough there now, but plates, forks, I don't know if we were supplying the coffee and tea bags, if that should be incorporated in the budget.
you know, we also get a small amount from the town.
Mhm.
I'm thinking that maybe we could use the town money for that. Do you
Okay.
know, is anybody, Martha, do you have a sense of that, whether we could use the town money for our supplies?
We get 200 from the town. Let me ask. You know, it was unclear to me. I need to sit down with Gail. It was unclear to me sort of um, there being two separate accounts. You know, that there's 200 from the town. How do you take the money from that versus just writing the ledger? Let me talk, we'll talk to her. I
I
say
think-
we, Jessica and I, to educate ourselves better.
Yeah.
Sally has gone through the cupboard, Sally Fairfield, and she says there is a ton of those plastic plates. And so that's what she used, I guess it was, she used those yesterday and they've been used in the, you know, when we had the first one in June. So there's a vast number of those. So I don't know of other supplies. We can check into that. I'll check into that.
I think Susan's idea is a good one, though, that maybe we could, if we're allowed to, sort of earmark that money to support the potlucks or whatever comes with those, you know, whether it's procuring paper goods or maybe if there's still only 10 or 15 people, we could be ecologically, environmentally friendly, and we could just do a couple dishes like we do at the SAC for events. But you know, that could be money that's kind of earmarked for little workshops or things that might happen within that if we want to get a speaker or, you know, something like that for those. Because you know what, we need to think of them as a captive audience. You know, and that'll get more people coming as well. People get in the habit. I'm going to the COA lunch and there's usually a little something happening. And then those something happenings can potentially become more powerful than just like sort of fun little things.
Mm.
Not that fun little things aren't powerful. They are. So I'm just curious, when is the budget usually prepared? Maybe for some of the people who've been on this committee for a little bit longer, is there an answer to that? It starts again in November?
Well, ordinarily, I think we've been saying it started 1st of July because we were able to draw on the money we knew we were going to get. And you know, Janice, you'll have to answer that one too. I don't remember that we had a formal sort of planning the budget because we just had
We
our
didn't. I don't think we had a formal planning of the budget.
Okay.
I think we were told this is how much we've got, and these are the requests that are coming in from village neighbors. We anticipate this much for foot clinic. And the library has its wants and needs, and sometimes we've said we can't do that. So we haven't had an official planning session for the budget.
So why would we give that to ourselves now when we're already functioning fairly well with, that we have these asks that happen every year that we want to support, and then the rest can be stuff that comes up. So we don't have a line budget really.
Well, we do. Last year, a year ago, we carried forward $959.43. So that, so I'm new at this, so I'm not quite sure sort of how the budget was. I don't remember in past discussions. I think I've been on it, more than a year, budgeting, but, I guess I just wanted some sort of, I think it would help to know what we need to, we just put down the same numbers for last year in terms of what we're going to spend, and then just move forward when we get the money.
Yeah. But of course, sometimes it's every year, it's a little bit more.
But so is everything else.
Mhm.
So we'll just use the numbers that we had for last year, 1,122 for foot care and possibly 1,500 for fitness classes, 800 for Gazette donations to village neighbors.
Sure, we can start with that, because then if things cost more, we'll have plenty in the budget to increase the figure, expenditure lines, I would think.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So we'll do that.
So do we actually have to vote on that? This is how we're going to do the budget, or do we have to actually look at the, paper copy, line item budget and then vote on it?
You're the one that suggested it not be formal.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't. Agreed, but it sounds like we do want to put it down on paper.
Well, not having the history, have we needed to vote on it in the past, Susan and Janice, do you remember?
Not a complete year budget. Grace here speaking, sorry. We've kind of voted on things as they've come up.
Okay,
We haven't started like, okay, we are now at the beginning of fiscal year 2025. Here's our budget.
all right,
We haven't, I don't think but I also didn't start until 2019. So,
all right,
there might have been a process like that, but I have the suspicion that there was not.
okay, all right. So we'll use the same template that we've used in the past and then just subtract as the expenses to have a much better handle on what our actual bottom line is. Jeanette, did you have your hand up?
Me, no.
Okay,
But I don't think any of us, particularly you, should beat yourself up about, just a little bit of money going into next year's or not being in the right place at the right time. Because, you just took this over, and we have a new treasurer, and it's not like we have a very, doesn't sound like we've had a very hard and fast line item budget anyway.
I agree.
well, all right, moving forward. All right, so budget, okay, one thing I had on the was LifePath. I have not yet heard from, LifePath is meeting with select board, and LifePath was not able to, there still is not a date yet. So when I get a note back from Becky, I will send you all a notice as to when LifePath will be presenting to select board, and it would be helpful if some of us could attend. Just, to support Life Path.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll be publishing it in a couple days, but LifePath actually has some kind of little program at the moment that gives everybody $50 to spend at a farmer's market. You just have to, I think, go onto the website and I guess you get a voucher. I
Wow,
don't know more than that. But it'll be coming out in the VN monthly email in a couple days.
All right,
Thought that would be nice.
great. Next item, letter to, select board regarding the Council on Aging.
The transportation request stuff, right?
Yes,
Okay. When you left that for me,
Yes.
would you want me to work on a letter or
Yes,
is there one
yes.
already in play?
yes, a couple months ago, you had agreed to review the information and send and draw up a letter we can send to select board, just letting them know what we, according to that information, select board needs to be we need they need to be encouraged to make some decisions in regards to the transportation.
Yes, they do.
they need to reach out to them, right? And get the thing initiated. Yeah.
Yes,
Hey, Jeanette, I thought that you did bring us a drafted letter.
Yeah,
What
Was that
happened?
transportation or was that something else?
that was the letter sent to the select board over here for Life Path.
Oh,
Oh,
right, have them
okay.
come. All right, so the select board has definitely heard about this transportation stuff before. I have regret that it sounds like a couple months have passed by. But I will try to get to that. I probably have something I can use as a template that came from Village Neighbors. Because we also were on this fight. So.
Great.
So do we need to talk about it any further, or we're all in agreement that we need to, bring it back to their awareness?
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Jessica, you had written a letter to the select board asking for help.
I did. And the room was actually, some stuff was actually cleaned out from the last time we were there.
Ooh,
They picked up all the water bottles that were on the side of the room. There was still a lot of clutter that didn't belong, but it had been dispersed a little bit. And I did notice that I went in the corner where all the bugs were, and those had been cleaned up. It still needs a really good cleaning. It looked like it was just, quickly vacuumed. But it did, there was some improvement this time from last time. And there was more room between the tables. I mean, you could actually, with people sitting, get in between, you wouldn't have to ask somebody to stand up, which was nice to see too.
Great.
yeah.
great here, all those vote signs were still there, but they were sort of spread out a little more.
Yes,
And I
the vote
didn't see all
signs
the
were
water
still there.
bottles.
Yeah.
I didn't see the water bottles in the select board, whatever that room is. That used to be the yoga and stuff room.
Big room.
The main
is-
room.
Where we vote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever
they were
that
still,
room's called, I can't remember, but they were all lined up there and I thought, oh, okay, good.
yeah, there's still some clutter that could be removed that doesn't belong to the COA. And then, everything that, oops, sorry, where the couch was, I mean, it's still kind of, nothing's really in its place, but it is a little bit emptier at least.
So if they're slowly moving stuff to another room, then maybe at the next luncheon, we can just move one more of those things, like the signs, to the other room. That could be, we could just be a little, we could move stuff too. Or not.
So do we send they're certainly working with us. Do we send the letter to the select board? People received a copy of it, correct?
Right, looked like a fine letter to me.
So we want to make a motion to send the letter?
So Millinger, I want to ask Jessica, do you think that they're moving in the right direction? They don't need the impetus of the letter, or you think the letter is still necessary?
I honestly think that once that got moved out, I think it's gonna be out of sight, out of mind. You know, the select board doesn't come to the luncheons. Is it gonna be forgotten about?
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking.
Okay,
Right here, I was gonna suggest that you wrote this earlier in the month, and it could be amended by you to say something, we appreciate that the water bottles have been removed,
Yes,
and
yes, I can definitely add something that says, we appreciate the work that has been done,
thank you.
but, still feel like, you know, more could be done to be a more welcoming place for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And we're willing to work with them.
So yes, I can edit that letter for sure.
And the last paragraph already says, we are willing to come together and help with the decluttering
Right.
as well as the cleaning, so. I just wanted to acknowledge that some movement had been made.
Right, right. I didn't realize that anything had been done at that
Right.
point. So yes, it was good to see.
yeah.
Jessica, that exercise, is that thing out of there too? It sounds like it is.
It was sitting by the door, but it was still in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, actually I had tripped on it and almost fell.
Oh,
But I'm
Ooh.
glad it was me and not somebody else. But yeah, it's
Good.
sitting like right by the door. So when you first walk in, the door was here, and then the first table was here. And when I got up to go around in between the bike and the table, I got caught up on it.
Ooh.
So,
Right.
and nobody used that door either. Everybody came in the main door.
So do we need to vote on the letter?
Probably not a bad idea.
Okay,
We do tend to vote on letters, yes?
yes,
And it's
So-
it's not just coming from Jessica, it's coming from the whole COA, so.
exactly. Exactly. All right, so Favre makes a motion to accept the letter with amendments written by Jessica Makepeace to the select board regarding the lounge.
Stockton second.
Favre, aye.
Ray, I,
Make peace eye.
Millinger, aye.
Stockton, I.
All right, okay.
Good thing you guys are not fussy about the exact language of motions, because I don't always get the exact language down.
I'm not quite sure what to say. So, all right, unanticipated, this is nice information. I'm withholding names because this is, these are, taped, to protect people's confidentiality, but, there were, I was notified by a caseworker at, Valley Medical that, a patient in our town needed assistance. And so the patient was called and to find out what their needs might have been, and it was cleaning. And Jessica was able to call, well, you can explain what you were able to do with LifePath. That was great.
So basically all I did was call the caseworker that does most of this area in town. It was another caseworker that was given to the person. So our town is split up between two caseworkers because there's so many residents up here and they don't feel like they're overloading one person. So I was able to contact her and spoke about what the resident needed, and ended up I took and went over and I'm gonna be doing the house cleaning for him and taking him for medical appointments and such with his through the Life Path program. With his having close contact with his family as well. So it was a really win-win for everybody, you know, that he was able to get the care. He was told previously that there was nobody up here to help and that it would be a year wait.
Oh, my.
So, yes. And that's why he had reached out to Council on Aging, because he knew he needed the help.
Mm.
So we're very glad that we could do that for him.
Yeah.
Great for Council on Aging, and I followed back with the caseworker, and she was very appreciative. And I think the point that I thought was really significant, Jessica, is when you called Life Path, you didn't get the runaround of I can't talk to you, because they asked you a couple questions. Are you the patient, or are you?
Right. So I have worked closely with Life Path for years, starting back with my grandmother and my mother, and with a few elderly residents in Leverett and Shutesbury. And I converse with her a lot about people that need help up here. If I have some extra time, is there someone that needs only a few hours? So when I called, it was natural for her to know that. And then I had offered to be it's consumer directed care worker for the person that called. That's why it was so easy for me to be that middle person, because I work with them a lot.
Gotcha.
You know, I can't take everybody that's, you know, needing a little bit of help here and there. But if we know who needs help, at least maybe we can advocate for them and get them help that, you know, they need. You know, I know not everybody likes to come up to Shutesbury. I think that's just too bad. You know, you work a job and it sends you places, but they're letting the agency say, or those people that work for the agency say, I don't want to drive up there.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's real. Yeah, so the town had a woman that did all of the Life Path residents up here. She lived up here and she just retired in November, or last 2 Novembers ago. So, or maybe it was even 3 Novembers ago. And that's when the residents in Shutesbury have had that hard hit with the help from Through Life Path.
Well, thank you. That was a great one for the resident.
Yes. And that's actually going very well. And hopefully next month I'll get him up to the COA luncheon.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we are becoming very bonded only within 2 weeks. We've been it's a good match.
That's great. Thank you. All right, COA luncheon.
Hang on for the
yes.
minute. I need a
Yes.
couple. I don't want to say a lot about this situation, but I need to say something about it. So it was initiated by somebody from Valley Medical contacting COA.
Yeah, case manager at Valley Medical contacted our COA. You know,
And then
COA contacted the patient to assess their needs.
the COA did?
Well, I mean, I did. I don't know
Okay.
what you want. Favre contacted the patient to assess the needs. And then, you know, Jessica, I contacted Jessica knowing that she worked with LifePath to see, you know, she facilitated the process.
Okay. Because it was Life Path caseworkers that you were talking with. Is that right?
Yes, I guess. I work with the Life
Man,
Path case workers.
what a complicated network there.
Yes. And it was
Wow.
actually another thing that was really nice is when she came out to the home, she said that he was eligible for a free air conditioner and medical equipment that he might need. So there was more benefit to it after once she got there.
Good,
Yes.
good.
Nice. All right, COA luncheons. I understand, you know, there's a desire to change the date. In looking through the minutes, Susan's minutes, Sarah, the nurse, works on Tuesdays in Leverett, so, I don't know if she can, if we were to change it to Tuesdays, if she could, come to the luncheons, so,
She said she could.
okay, she can get
Said
it.
she could, she said she could run up for a noon gathering.
Okay, all right, great.
I remember her saying that, but I also watched the video of the last meeting and she talks about that there.
Okay, all right. So, Janice, your suggestion is change it to,
What I'm suggesting is nothing nothing set in stone, just that you had been under the impression, Martha, that the old luncheons had been on the second Tuesday when they were not, they were on the first. And I don't know why, but that's when they were when I joined. And we're meeting on our monthly meeting on the second Wednesday, which meant that this month, yesterday was the lunch. And today's our meeting, and it could be another Tuesday. It could be the third Tuesday of the month. I don't care. I just don't want them one day apart,
okay,
because I personally am exhausted. I had chemo this morning.
Hmm.
And I had a doctor's appointment yesterday morning, which is why I just dropped food off and went home. So that's just my personal selfish reasons.
okay, so. All right,
I-
so.
I don't mean to, this Millie, to complicate matters, but I was talking with Linda about this and that, and she gave me the impression that we used to meet on Wednesday because that was sort of COA's day of doing things. We had COA luncheon one Wednesday, then we had meeting the next Wednesday, and the third Wednesday was foot clinic. And it was as though Wednesday was the COA's day to do something.
Hmm.
I don't know if I necessarily remember it because my memory's not that great, but I just thought it was interesting that she focused on us doing things regularly on Wednesdays. And I don't know if anybody else. Janice, do you have any recollection?
I just remember the luncheons when I came aboard, which was after you, they were on Tuesdays.
Okay.
I could go back and look at, I don't know what, something. But it seemed to me it was a Tuesday, not a Wednesday.
Okay. And, you know, I don't really care what day it is, but I agree with Janice that it's nice not having COA things back to back to work on and show up for.
And that's kind of what I was saying too. I don't care what day it is, just don't have me or you doing minutes or you doing whatever agendas, all this stuff at the last second crammed into a very short time frame. Not fair to any of us, really.
All right, so, so the suggestion, if we did the first Wednesday of every month, then the nurse, well, she's there Mondays. Yeah, I think she goes back to, okay, whatever, so.
Tuesdays are better for her. Did she say that? The Tuesdays were better for her? To come
Because
over?
she's in Leverett on Tuesdays, but it'd be easy enough for her to come up for the luncheon. She did say something about she can't do Fridays. And then she said something about in the fall, things will change because her kids will be back in school.
I think she's dropping the Wednesdays in the fall. She'll go back to the Monday schedule, I think. All right, so So do-
Wednesday here, is that the story?
at
is
the
when-
present time, Sarah is working, Barbara, at the present time, Sarah's working Mondays and Wednesdays in Shutesbury.
Shutesbury? Okay, sorry, got it.
Okay, so Tuesdays, all right, so. So the
Uh,
first,
Stockton here. I'm sorry that I have to leave the meeting.
okay,
Um,
all
Bye.
right. Okay, so the first Tuesday of the month. That would work better for people.
Yep.
Okay, all right, so,
Jessica, do you have a preference?
I do not.
all right, okay, so the next one would be August 6th, the first Tuesday of August. Okay, all right, we can change that.
Can I make up one more suggestion for the luncheons for next time, maybe? Sorry. I was told that the Council on Aging owns some really nice um tablecloths. And I thought that that would be a nice pitch, and maybe some fresh flowers from somewhere in the center. Not very many, just enough to make it look pretty. Make it more welcoming.
That's a
I
nice
thought
idea.
would be a good idea.
That's a
Okay,
nice idea. Does anybody know where the tablecloths are?
It was my
My
question.
sister said she knows where they are, and she's the one that bagged them, washed them, and bagged them. They're all
Oh.
in bags, so they're sealed. Maybe a quick wash, but if they're bagged, they might not need it. And then I don't mind bringing them home to launder them, or, for the next time.
Oh, thank you.
okay,
That's a nice offer.
I like to make things look pretty.
right. I have flowers we can put on the tables.
I was thinking about your gardens, Martha,
Yeah.
when I thought about that.
Yep, yeah, we'll do that. All right, okay, all right, all right, programs, one of the, Sarah, in the notes that, when we were talking to Sarah Fisk, she said that one of the suggestions by one of the participants at the luncheon was incontinence, pelvic floor, and Kegel exercises. And Sarah sent me an email this week, and she said, she's ready to do that, and wants to know when we would like to do it. Do we want to sponsor something like that? I don't think. Do we want to go with something like high blood pressure, signs of stroke, molds?
I like the most. Some people don't know about the most forms. Where you should keep them and all that stuff. Not everybody's aware of all that.
The pink sheep.
Yep.
Pink sheep. Yeah, my sister's pink sheep was on the refrigerator.
And mine's on mine. Just don't let ambulance crews refer to them as moist. My daughter complains about that. Sort of a joke in the EMT profession, apparently.
And also included with the most forms, we could remind people that like they should have a list of medicines with it that they're taking. So if there is an emergency and they have to go to the ambulance, I think that might be a good reminder for people too, and to keep it updated, because a lot of times, prescriptions get added. You don't take them off, you don't add them, and then the next thing you know, they don't know what you're taking.
Mm.
So I think that kind of goes hand in hand.
So should we should we do the molds first? I'm not quite sure if Sarah would do that or. um, Did we get a sense? I guess they had a physician in the past who had done one for Leverett, I think.
Was this a Village Neighbors program or a COA program?
This would be a,
For the, I'm sorry, the one in Leverett that you just mentioned that had
oh,
doc.
I'm not sure, Susan. I'm not sure. I know that Dr. Starr, a geriatric physician, I think she also did one. I'm not quite sure where, but we could find a Molt speaker.
That would be great to have a geriatric physician here.
All right. Let me see what I can find. Let me see if they charge something too.
Yeah.
When would we want to offer this? In the fall?
Probably at this point, better off to do it in the fall. What do you think? What does everybody think about that?
Not great here. I was thinking maybe keep summer, just only one left, low key and an agenda free. Because one of the other things Sarah had said she could talk about was summer safety. We're almost at the end of that, although with climate change, September could be pretty hot too. But and there was a joke about how pelvic floor Kegel exercises wouldn't necessarily go well with eating lunch, although
Right.
the joke was nurses talk about everything at lunch,
Hmm.
have no problem with it, but I can see some discomfort.
No, I wouldn't, yeah.
So
Okay.
summer
I would
thinking,
think something like that would be like separate because not everybody wants to participate in something like that.
yeah,
Right.
And it could also, great here again, it could also be framed, since the luncheon is open to all, that the most isn't only about your needs. You want to
Mm.
know about it so you can help your family members or whatever learn about it as well. Sort of broaden the audience.
And most forms are more generic than incontinence and Kegel exercises.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
for everybody. Not everybody needs or wants to hear about Kegel exercises. So, but
No,
most
no.
are more is everybody is going to come into being offered those with their doctors and such if they haven't already.
So is what I'm hearing is if we could get somebody to speak on molds for August 1 or in the fall or I mean, summer safeties. So
Well-
would we make a molds discussion part of the luncheon too? Or separate? But
do we have any interest in asking Sarah to do, because we're not gonna have Sarah around sounds like too long in the lunchtime.
Right.
Would ask Sarah to talk about summer safety?
that's a good idea at the luncheon.
Yeah, at the luncheon. And then do a separate program. I mean, maybe do most in the fall at the luncheon
Okay.
and a separate session for Kegel. That we might get Mary Ann to advertise.
Right. Okay. Well,
So would something like Kegel, would we want to do it in live or online, on Zoom? Do you think?
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I don't know. That's a good one. Let me ask, I'll ask Sarah. If she has handouts, which she probably would. Those could be sent to people, because we have their. They could, yeah. Okay. All right. Over here. So I'll ask Sarah if she could present summer safety at the August meeting, August lunch. That's a question. We'll do that. Janice and Susan.
Yeah, it's okay with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll do that.
So that would be after everybody eats and visits. It wouldn't be during the actual eating, right? That would be after.
Yep.
So we would have to allot time on the board that it would be, well, we could still do the lunch from a certain time, but how would we know? How would they know we're doing that to make it so that they can leave it in their schedules to be there longer, is what I'm thinking.
You mean staff upstairs or just
So,
people?
well, if so people that have been there know we're only there for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
If we're doing a program after, how would we let them know that so they can schedule into their time if they want to stay for that?
Yeah, you're right. So really, it would be something that we would talk about at the August meeting we'd say next meeting in September, we're going to have a little program after for you to say.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, we
So-
could try it to see if people can allot, to stay, but sometimes, people you have doctor's appointments or whatever that they're working around.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know people like to sit and visit before and after they eat too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, I mean, one thing I'd suggest is that a short program is probably a good idea.
Mm.
Right. So it would be what, like, how long do people, they're usually, I don't know. We have it from 12 to 1:30. Would, should we see if we can schedule it from, the talk from like 1:15 to 1:30?
I would say, my experience, well, this is just from the past. I thought most people left by 1. So, I would say have it, you can say a lot in 10 minutes.
Right.
and if you have handouts, that's even better. You can then leave with a handout, having heard a brief presentation.
Okay.
And she had this whole list of things she's ready to talk about, so she probably already has this.
Right. So 12:50 to 1, just the last 10 minutes of the luncheon, that way
Yeah.
for Sarah's presentation.
Yeah. I think it's a good way to try it.
Okay.
and see how it works to do that kind of timing.
Hmm.
But
And
if,
I
yeah,
guess, oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then if it runs later and people stay asking questions, then people stay and asking questions. I don't think that, we have to stop at a certain time if the people are still engaged.
Yep.
Good point. All right. I will contact Sarah. And then we'll do the mulch for the fall. All right. Good. All right, any other items to discuss at 6:54?
Ray has nothing.
I have nothing.
I don't have any.
Okay. So shall we adjourn the meeting?
Mhm.
I make a motion, Favre makes a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:54. You have a second?
Seconds.
Second,
Favre, aye.
Ray, I.
Mickey sigh.
Millie or I.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, you
Have a
do.
good month, ladies.
Yes. Good night.
Bye-bye.